Olson, on behalf of the development team of Michaels Development, Brinshore Development, and Clio Enterprises, I'd like to welcome you to the Legend South A3 groundbreaking. We've got a lot to be proud of here, everybody, and I know all of you are involved with this too. We're really proud of our development work here in Bronzeville, on the site of the former Robert Taylor Homes, formerly the nation's largest public housing development site. And before this site was Robert Taylor, it was a densely packed residential and commercial neighborhood home to thousands, many of whom were migrants from the U.S. South. So there's a legacy here. This is our sixth phase of redevelopment at Legend South, completed over the past 20 years. It's a lot, and I know, Alderman, you've been with us nearly the entire time. And we've really only made a dent in what was here before and replacing what was here before. However, what we're building here on this site is more than housing, it's a community. Includes mixed income rental housing. We've got a for sale home development by Green Line Homes, just one block north of us here. Check it out after the event. We've got a 1 acre urban farm, places to play, and we're really excited to be bringing our first retail development here along State Street. We have a great lineup of speakers today. But before I introduce them, I'd like to thank some of the project participants who made this all possible. We've got our architects, LBBA and Brook Architecture, our civil engineer, Engage Civil, our general contractor, GMA. See that? Our lenders, Capital One, Berkadia, the Community Development Trust, or CDT. Our investors, Redstone Equity Partners, Capital One, and Clock Tower Tax Credits. The City of Chicago, thank you. The Chicago Housing Authority, there's too many of you to reference. I do know Anthony Alvarez is here, who's worked on this project for 20 years. And also our development team who worked on this project. Andrea, thank you. Michael Prohoff, Michael's management, thank you for all you do every day. In the world of affordable housing development, what we do is not easy. Costs have skyrocketed, project sizes have shrunk, risk has increased. Yet in spite of these challenges, we persist year in and year out. Because Chicago, and the U.S. more broadly, has a pronounced need for affordable housing across all of its great neighborhoods. Housing is foundational, and I'd like to challenge everyone in this room to figure out how to create more of it. With this crowd in attendance, I'd be remiss not to mention our event that follows this. It's we'll be announcing $255,000 in scholarships from the Michaels Organization Educational Foundation for 33 Chicago scholars. So we're really excited about that, including 4 from our newest property in Woodlawn, Park Station. All you have to do is live in a Michaels property and you can apply. This is the largest award ever in Chicago. So I look forward to seeing all of you here in 16 months when we're finished with this project. We'll do a ribbon cutting, and we'll see what the property looks like. And on behalf of Michaels, Brinshore, and Clio, thank you for joining us today in our celebration. With that, I'd like to announce the next speaker. Well, first thing, there's water back here, a couple housekeeping things. There's water back in the white coolers back here if you need it. It's a hot day, take care of yourself. There is a bathroom across the street in our community center. The door's open. So I'd like to introduce Alderman Pat Dahl of the 3rd Ward to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. You know what they say, you get in where you fit in. I wasn't sure where I was going to be in the program, but I'm delighted to welcome everyone to the 3rd Ward and to the Bronzeville community. State Street is a really important street in the city of Chicago, and one that's really important in Bronzeville. And I am very delighted to see finally that we are continuing with the CHA plan for transformation down State Street so that we can provide housing, affordable housing for families that want to stay in this community. I want to thank the mayor for supporting this project and his leadership in bringing affordable housing options to the city of Chicago. I don't see Angela Hurlick, but I wanted to support her and acknowledge her. Kamina, I see you. And I want to thank our housing commissioner, Lisette Castaneda, for supporting this with city resources. We appreciate that. It's been a long journey, and I think Michaels, Brinshore, and I go back, we won't say how long. I've known Rich Sorrentino for probably 30 years and Peter Levovey for probably as long. But I want to thank them and Michael's organization, Michael Brent, for their continued support in this community. I want to thank Tory Barrett from Imagine for just being a man of the soil from the Washington Park, Bronzeville community who continues to build in this area. We appreciate your investment. And GMA, Cornelius, thank you for being the African American contractor here on this site. We are so pleased with that. And Green Line, Benjamin Van Horn, thank you for the projects that you do already in our community, and we look forward to you having some space here. I want to acknowledge Anthony Alvarez. Anthony doesn't get a lot of credit. Would you stand? This man has been on this project since I became an alderman. I haven't been here 20 years yet. And Anthony, we thank you for just guiding the residents here and working on this project. And I also want to acknowledge Francine Washington, whose commitment to the residents and her leadership have been very visible here. Also a resident of the 3rd Ward. And finally, Engage Civil, are you here? He lives in the ward too. So I'm pleased with that. This is a great day, and to provide housing for people that want to remain in this community as this community is developing and building. Somebody told me today we're the number 3 in permits across the city of Chicago, and this is evident of the hard work that it takes to get to that point. And so I want to thank everyone for coming today, and let's get this built in 16 months. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. I forgot to mention when I was introducing the folks involved, we're joined by a special guest today, Dewey Strobel, if I don't butcher your name too badly, with the HUD Great Lakes region. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you and all HUD's efforts. I'd like to invite the mayor up to say a few words. Mayor Brandon Johnson.
Thank you, Greg, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm grateful to be here for this yet another incredible occasion and yet another example of how we are building the safest, most affordable big city in America. Thank you to Alderwoman Dow for your commitment and love for the people of the entire city of Chicago. You know, today this is yet another exciting groundbreaking. And I do want to make sure that we are thanking all the people who have made this development and this project possible. So again, to our Chicago Housing Authority Interim CEO, Angela Herlock, even in her absence. To Michael's Development Regional Vice President, thank you, Gregory. I'm using your full name there. Sorry, I apologize about that. You're not in trouble, all right? Olson, and of course to Cornelius Griggs, who is here with GMA Construction. A life time ago, Tory, it feels like we were just yesterday when we were kids, hanging out in this area, and to have someone like Tory Barrett, who is very much committed to the development of this city. Can't think of a better partner and a better soul to be in this adventure with. So thank you, and to the entire Barrett family. I like how Tory travels the way he only knows how. You travel in packs, just in case anything goes down, anything. But I remember, the many nights, of course, where we celebrated and worshiped together along this corridor. And I'm grateful that we have the HUD Regional Administrator, Dewey Strobel, that is here. It's not very often, particularly in the stretch of the pennant, that we would allow a Brewers fan to just stop here in Chicago, but I'm just gonna say it like this. Just go ahead and get those tickets ready. So when the Brewers come here for the National League Championship Series, we're happy to kick your butt, all right? But we're grateful for you and our neighbors just to the north in Wisconsin. You notice I didn't talk about football, by the way. But look, I believe in safe, affordable housing. It's a human right. That's not debatable. And that's why we're working so hard to remove the barriers and build more sustainable and affordable housing in Chicago. When this project is completed, it's not just going to be affordable units, but commercial development opportunities and all of the residential amenities that will come along with this project. It's going to bring new life to a footprint of the old Robert Taylor homes, and revitalizing this area along State Street brings new retail and development opportunities for the entire community. You know, I recently launched our Build Better Together comprehensive citywide economic development strategy that is focused on quality and affordable housing for everyone. But it also includes business and innovation and job growth and neighborhood investments for more vibrant communities to finally exist. And so through this groundbreaking, it is adding a new and dynamic development to this neighborhood as a great example of how building better together can uplift, revitalize, and empower all of our communities. It is through our efforts with the Build Better Together that we can look forward to more groundbreakings. The $1.25 billion bond investment, which is the largest in the history of Chicago, is going to ensure more ribbon cuttings. You like how Cornelius got real excited. He was like, that's what I'm talking about, Mr. Mayor. But it's going to create more, not just ribbon cuttings, but projects that make our city safer and more affordable and thriving. And so again, thank you to everyone who made today possible. I look forward to seeing more affordable and sustainable housing in every single corner in the greatest freaking city in the world, the city of Chicago. God bless you all.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to ask Department of Housing Commissioner Lisette Castaneda to join us and say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. All right. Thank you so much for being here today to celebrate this momentous occasion. It is truly a pleasure. I want to begin by congratulating the teams at the Michaels Organization, Bryn Shore, and the CHA for helping to bring this important and historic development to life. Of course, this also could not be done without our very important partners at HUD, so we are so grateful that they are also in the house. We also, of course, I offer my sincere thanks to Mayor Johnson for his leadership and vision and commitment to equity and inclusion. This milestone would not be possible without your support and dedication to uplifting communities that have long been overlooked. We also, of course, have to thank Chairwoman Pat Dowell, who has been an incredible force behind a lot of the redevelopment in her ward. Her relentless support and pushing makes us all better and stronger together. Today, we celebrate not just an impactful investment in this community that has long faced housing discrimination, but the broader revitalization of this historic neighborhood and the perseverance of its people. Legend South will feature the new construction of 2 buildings, one 3-story walk-up and one 4-story elevator building. Together, they will house 52 units, with 10 at market rate and 42 that will be affordable. At the Department of Housing, providing safe, high quality, and affordable housing is one of our core priorities. We believe everyone deserves a dignified home that allows them to remain in the communities where they grew up without the threat of displacement. That's why the City of Chicago provided donation tax credits, which generated nearly $1 million of equity. We provided almost $3 million of home funds, $10 million in TIF, and low-income housing tax credits that will generate over $13 million of equity for this project. Access to public transit is another vital piece of this project. The 47th Street CTA bus runs early mornings and late nights, making commuting possible for people from all walks of life. This site is also close to the Red Line and the Green Line, offering also easy access to the Loop and the Metro. Whether you are a student, a parent, a flight attendant with an early shift, or an overnight security guard, access to transit and affordable housing should always go hand in hand. When we talk about new developments, it's just as essential to talk about the history of its residents and the role this specific community has played in shaping our great city. Before Legend South, this site was the home to Robert Taylor Homes, the largest public housing project in America. What began as a post-war effort to eliminate slums quickly became a symbol of disinvestment, redlining, and policy failures that can deeply affect people's lives. Underfunded and overcrowded, the Robert Taylor homes became synonymous with concentrated poverty and systemic neglect. But today we look at Legend South, and it will represent what housing justice can look like. The transformation of the site, the continued revitalization and investment in Bronzeville will aid in restoring this neighborhood to its roots, the center of arts and commerce and culture for African American residents of this city. Housing is just one way in which this is possible. That is why, in partnership with the Mayor's Office under Build Better Together, we are working to bring coordinated, comprehensive change to areas like this one. Chicago has so many distinct community areas that I can sometimes feel like the work is never done. But progress in any of these neighborhoods is progress for the whole city. Safety in these communities means greater safety for the city. And dignified, affordable housing is a foundational step in building that brighter future. Thank you all again for being here. I'm so grateful to be welcomed warmly into Bronzeville today. Thank you all.
Inspirational words, Castaneda. I'd like to bring up Board Chair Matthew Brewer from Chicago Housing Authority.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for being here today. I'm Matt Brewer, the board chairman for the Chicago Housing Authority. Welcome to the Legends South A3 groundbreaking. Let's give a round of applause for that. As you've heard, this phase includes 2 buildings, a total of 52 new apartments, including 21 homes for families from CHA's waitlist. A number of folks here have used the word transformation, and I think that's the perfect word here. Many of us remember what this looked like 30 years ago. For me, I was a student at Beasley just down the street, and it was not a safe place to come. It was not accessible. The school didn't have windows for that reason, and we all school bused in and got out at 1:30 p.m. every day to avoid crime in the neighborhood. And to think about what it used to be and to look at what it has become and what it's becoming symbolizes true transformation, and it's a testament to what we can accomplish with vision and partnership over time. This is the first new development on the Robert Taylor footprint in nearly 14 years, and it'll be the first retail component at Legend South. Let's give a round of applause for that. To date, a total of 841 apartments have been built at Legend South, including 335 CHA homes. It's taken some time, like many of these complicated projects do. They require extensive planning, coordination, and persistence across every partner and every stakeholder, including many of the people here right now. But this moment's a testament to sheer determination of our CHA team, and I'm gonna do some shout outs. Including Lee Prater, Alam Corey, George Canoon, Whitney Houston, yes, Whitney Houston, Charlotte Ring, Anthony Alvarez, who we've acknowledged, Jacqueline Gibson, Pam Cash, Stephanie Slaughter, and to the enduring commitment of this agency. And we would be remiss, obviously, if we didn't thank our Mayor Johnson for his support and leadership on this project, and the many others that we've celebrated over the last months. Also like to acknowledge Alderman Dow, a champion for development here in the ward. And just to take a step back from this with respect, it's very windy. Obviously, for here at the CHA, this is our year of renewal. We've been focused on working with more intention, transparency, and accountability. And as you see, it's translating into meaningful progress. This year alone, we've celebrated grand openings at Edith Spurlock, Sampson and Sheffield residences, Canvas at Leland Plaza, the National Public Housing Museum in Roosevelt Square, adding more than 400 apartments across the city. And at the same time, we've launched the Healthy Homes Division to proactively address lead and other environmental safety concerns. We've reshaped our property and asset management oversight to be stronger, more efficient, and to better serve residents. We've conducted our first ever citywide resident survey to better understand community needs, and we've continued to serve as a launching pad for home ownership through our Choose to Own and down payment assistance programs. These are just examples of what public housing can do when we center it around people, dignity, and possibility. And this groundbreaking shows us what's possible when we lead with purpose, persistence, and partnership. We'll continue to pursue our mission of creating and sustaining strong communities with accountability and transparency. And so thank you everyone once more for being here. Congratulations to all of our partners. Thank you for believing in the promise of what's possible together, because a stronger CHA means a stronger Chicago. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. We don't build housing for building's sake alone, right? We really build it for people. It's really intended to be a place where people can launch and live their best lives. So I'd like to invite up a resident of our Savoy Square development, Ms. Kathy Jackson, to say a few words.
Good afternoon. Thumbs up to Mayor Johnson, Alderwoman Pat Dow, CHA, and the Michaels organization. I am proud to stand here as a 15-year tenant of Savoy Square Apartments. The neighborhood is working for me. My apartment, I'm comfortable, I'm happy, and I'm safe. And this is what I'm saying from the heart, and I just want to let you all know that I'm safe here, happy, and comfortable. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. So a partnership between two companies, Brinshaw and Michaels, has existed now for over 20 years, so it's like a marriage, right? There's ups and downs. I'd like to ask Rich Shortino, our partner at Brinshaw Development, to speak.
Thank you, Greg. I'm Rich Shortino. I'm one of the founders and principal at Brinshaw Development. Groundbreakings are ceremonial generally in nature, and that's because we want to give thanks to all the people that made today happen. But it also allows us to reflect on where we've been, where we're going, promises made, promises kept, and promises in progress. We started this project in 2000. I delivered the applications to CHA in the middle of a blizzard. Shortly after we learned that we were selected, we were at the former alderman's office on 9/11. Towers came down in a planning session. That's how long ago it's been since we've been working on this project. But during that time, we have made promises to create a neighborhood that serves the residents, a safe, desirable neighborhood. I think we've delivered on that, despite the fact that we are only about halfway through the 1,500 units that we originally promised. We've delivered about 600. But I think that the thing that we're most proud of are the opportunities that we've created for lots of people, residents, community, etc. For residents, we've provided jobs, we've provided amenities, we've provided opportunities simple as community gardens. You see a beautiful community garden down the street that's managed by the Chicago Botanic Garden. This 2-acre farm is managed by the Chicago Botanic Garden, and it provides jobs for people that are interested in urban agriculture. We just launched 2 farmers who have bought 25 acres separately of farmland and are successful urban farmers. We're proud of the fact that all of this development was built by African American contractors. We have met and exceeded all of our MB and WB requirements, all of our city requirements. We have also partnered with local minority developers. Victoria is the latest, but we have been doing that throughout this development. We're proud also that GMA is our latest general contractor, and we have high expectations for Cornelius because we've got projects all over the country that Cornelius is going to bid on. You know, I think that this is a reflection of what can happen when people work together. And over time, this has been in 20 years, there's been many elected officials that have taken part in this. Alderman Dowell has been there for most of it. And so much of the credit is due to these elected officials, and Mayor Johnson, you're included, that have remained supportive of this effort. It is a long endeavor, and without that support, we couldn't be here today. I also just want to thank the people from Bryn Shore Development. Greg mentioned Bryn Shore and Michaels got together when the transformation plan was announced in 2000, and we were the local partner, and Michaels was the national partner, and we've been together now for 20 years. But Charlene Andreas and Peter Levy are the folks from Bryn Shore that are working on this project. And I just want to say from a personal standpoint, I grew up in a blue-collar family, sweeping hair and shining shoes in my father's barber shop. And to think of where I've come, standing here today, groundbreaking for an impactful project in the greatest city in this country, is a dream come true. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rich. You mentioned all the interesting people you get to meet along the way, and I had the opportunity of meeting the next speaker, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, and you find out a little bit about them, and you realize how interesting and how impactful they are. So I'd like to ask Tori Barrett to say a few words.
Praise the Lord, saints. I said, praise the Lord, saints. The scripture says, let everything that has breath praise ye the Lord. And today is a reason to praise the Lord. So let's give a hand clap for the Lord on today. I'm going to be very brief because it's very hot, and I'm sure you all want to get back to your air condition. But like the mayor said, I do have to recognize my posse. So my father, my wife, and my children are here. So let's give them a round of applause for always hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Alderman Pat Dowell, thank you for making sure that projects in your ward has minority participation. And as a result, myself and Benjamin Van Horn from Green Line Construction are building 40 homes right down the street. You'll get a chance to check those out shortly. Mayor Johnson, not only your investment in the south and west side of the city, but for the first time since I've been alive, I don't have to turn on the news at night and it starts off with a shooting in our neighborhood. So thank you, sir, for making this a safer city like you said you would under your administration. CHA Chairman Matt Brewer, thank you for your leadership. This is sentimental for me. It's my first CHA project. Hopefully it won't be my last. But I remember as a little boy, my father and mother bringing me up and down this corridor to evangelize in the Robert Taylor homes. And now here I am, part owner of the development that's happening. So thank you, Father, for instilling in me service from a very young age. And then to Greg and Rich. Greg, yes, we haven't known each other that long, but from the time we met, he has been very instrumental in making sure that I'm included in everything, and that means a lot. And then to Rich, to have a mentor like you to say, you know what, you may not know it all, but eventually you're gonna learn it all. And truth be told, I asked Rich to partner with me on another phase, and he said, no, you got this on your own. And so thank you for pushing me for becoming the developer that I am. And then lastly, for the next speaker that you're going to hear, you know, it's intentional for me. As an African-American developer, you do business with people that, one, you like, and then two, people you can trust. I like this individual, but more importantly, I can trust this individual. I can trust them with my wife, and I can trust them with my life. And there's not a lot of people that you can say that about. I've seen minority developers bring on general contractors that they like and that they trust. I like and trust this individual, and as a result, I'm bringing him into every project that I have moving forward. So let's give a round of applause to the next speaker, and I hope I don't kill your thunder, Cornelius Griggs from GMA Construction.
Good afternoon. I'm also going to attempt to be brief. That's not usually in my vocabulary, but I want to first start off by thanking everyone who's here, including the folks in the front row. I am a product of Chicago. Been here my entire life. Grew up on the west side and near north side in Austin, North Lawndale, Cabrini Green. Awarded the state since the time I was 6. Lived in public housing. And when I started GMA Construction Group, this year we celebrate our 10th year of business. When I started, it's a hell of an accomplishment. When I started, it was myself and 2 people in an office. Today, we have offices in 5 cities. We do well over $200 million in revenue, the bulk of that affordable housing across the country. And the reason why I focused on affordable housing, healthcare, and education, because those are the things that lacked in the communities that I grew up in. We had poor housing, we had poor educational facilities, and we had poor healthcare options. But today, I'm proud to say that GMA has been a part of so many developments across the city of Chicago, across Dallas, and New York, and Charlottesville, Virginia, and Charlotte, North Carolina, building those facilities in underserved communities. And it means something. The work that I do and the work that my team does every day is having an impact on people who live and grew up the same way I lived and grew up. So I'm thankful to Tory Barrett for his continued support. My very first opportunity when I left my corporate job 10 years ago and decided I wanted to go on this adventure, he gave me my very first project putting up basketball hoops at the Clio facility, and I appreciated that. That's now turned into us recently completing a $45 million development at the corner of 79th and Halsted. I want to thank Richard for giving me the opportunity, along with Greg and the team at Michaels, to build for you. I promise you our team will deliver, and we look forward to that partnership. I want to thank CHA for continuing to be a partner of ours. We started out as one of their very first Section 3 businesses back in 2016, and look at where we've come today, from 1 million to 200 million. I want to thank DOH and Commissioner Constaneda for the work that you guys do and the partnership that GMA has been able to build. I hope that your people say great things about us on that floor. And Mayor Brandon Johnson for continuing your vision. I remember when you pulled up 3 years ago now, you had that, I don't know if it was a Malibu, but the bumper was falling off of it. You're a different man today. But you said to me, you were going to continue the mission of ensuring that the city stays safe, that we had good affordable housing, good healthcare options, and good educational options. And I have to echo Tory, when I wake up or when I go to sleep at night, the first thing on the news is not who got shot on the south or west sides of Chicago. So you deserve a tremendous round of applause for that. And finally, Alderwoman Pat Dow. For a small bit of time, I lived in a place called the Rosenwall. When I was bouncing around from one foster home to the next, I lived in this little small community called the Rosenwall. It was a crazy place to live back in the 90s. But I shared this story with Alderwoman Dow a few months ago as we were looking to purchase a building in her ward to put our corporate office. And I learned a lot about Alderman Dow in that meeting, but what I admire most about her is that she believes in people like me. She believes in helping folks like me build our businesses so that we could turn around and help pull up the next generation of contractors and engineers. Well, that's what I'm here to do, and I want to thank everybody. I stand on all of your shoulders. My team is here. I could not recognize them. Clearly, they put up every billboard that we own at GMA behind me, but my team is in the back. Please give GMA Construction Group team a round of applause. They do this, not me. I want to thank you, and I think Greg is going to come up and bring us up some photos. Thank you.
Cornelius, you inspire me, and you inspire a lot of people. Thank you for being you. Let's have the front row come on up. We're gonna turn some dirt up here, and also Mr. Strobel, Andrea, Peter.
We're gonna have the second row get up as well.
Okay.
So we're gonna move the chairs.
Great. And if we could ask the second row to get up and move a little bit so we could make some space for photographers, we'd appreciate that. Sorry.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. These first 2 rows right here, and actually the third row as well, because the videographers will be coming up right behind them. So if everyone doesn't mind in the first 3 rows moving, we're going to go ahead, and if you can, grab your belongings as well. Thank you.